What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and it is international break, and you know what that means. The unpopular opinions are back. We're kind of structuring this one a bit differently, so if you want your unpopular opinions to be reacted to, do send your unpopular opinion in a super chat. Members, the link is in your community section now, so if you want to give us your opinion, do come and join us, and we'll get you on the show. You can give us your opinion and we'll react to it. But Sim, you ready to get stuck into some unpopular opinions?
I love unpopular opinions. I absolutely love people's unpopular opinions. Sometimes they don't really say unpopular opinions, they say a popular opinion and think it's unpopular, but I'm hoping that people have some controversial thoughts and I want to read them. I want to know what people are thinking and people are saying, and I can't wait to react to some of your opinions. I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah,
so if you want your unpopular opinion to be reacted to, do send it in a super chat or call in. The link is in the community section, but we've got a few from Twitter to get us underway, so let's get straight into it. And this one is from Dan Scholes, and he says Scotty Parker would actually do a decent job for Tottenham.
I mean, I don't know, it's way too early to tell on Scott Parker, but look, he's doing pretty well for Fulham right now, but I think it's way too early to give thoughts of him getting the Tottenham job, in my opinion. I mean, he's only been managing 3 years?
2 years, 1 year in the Championship, 1 year in the Premier League.
I don't know. I don't think he's ready for the Tottenham job.
I've always, since like Fulham's turn in form, I've been a big advocate for Scott Parker, and I think he's a really good manager. The way he's turned Fulham around this season he's done a really good job this season and last season in terms of him smashing out the Championship and getting them to come up. So I actually think there is a Tottenham manager in there, potentially one day. Obviously this year, maybe next year is a bit too soon, but after that, if his career is still on this kind of upwards trajectory, then I can see it happening, to be honest.
Plenty of managers have got promoted from the Championship. It's not like he would be like the only like every manager gets promoted from the Championship doesn't mean automatically like good enough. Have to see how he does now. Like right now, they're in the relegation zone. They might not even stay up. Like they probably will, because I think they are good enough to stay up, and I think he's good enough. But like, I don't know, he hasn't proven to me anything yet that he's good enough to manage Spurs.
Do you not see with the squad he has there and the football that they're playing and the teams that they're kind of coming up against? Yeah, they're not winning many games, but they're playing really good football with the squad that they have there.
Yeah, but they're in relegation zone.
Yeah, but they're Fulham.
Yeah, but I think the squad they have, they shouldn't be in the relegation zone.
You really think that?
Yeah.
Really?
They've got a good team.
Who do you think are worse than them?
Newcastle. I think a few teams above them, probably worse than them. I think they're better than Palace, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I rate Fulham quite high. I think Fulham have got a good team. Especially midfield and defence, they're really strong. Going forward, maybe not so, but I think midfield and defence, I think they've got some really good players there. And I'm not saying, look, it will be a good achievement if he stays up. I don't know. I don't think it's like.
So you think Scott Parker's doing like he's underperforming as Fulham manager?
Well, they might stay up. So I think at the moment, I don't think he's underperforming. Because I think they are playing well, but I think that team that they have shouldn't be getting relegated. I don't think. I like a lot of their players. I love their goalkeeper Aurier. I think Aurier is really, really good. I think Anthony Robertson, the left back. I think Tete, the right back, is also strong. They've got Anguissa, who I really, really like. Harrison Reed's turned it on recently. Who else they got? They have like Mitrovic, who hasn't really been involved this season.
Mitrovic has been rubbish every
Josh
time he's
Maja.
played.
If you go into like the forward line, I'm not that impressed, but I really like their defence. I do really like their defence and their midfield. I'm a big fan of it. Lookman has been decent.
Yeah, but it's not like players to blow you away. Maybe 2 or 3 of them, but not like as a whole squad. You say
Burnley, I reckon they're better than Burnley.
Mostly it's a Championship squad, the whole squad.
I reckon they're better than Burnley.
You reckon? I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. But in my opinion, I think Scott Parker's done a really good job this season. And if he continues this upward trajectory as a manager, I can see him coming to Spurs one day.
Yeah, he has to carry on. He has to stay up.
Yeah. Even if he doesn't stay up, I still think he's had a good season at Fulham. And, coming up from the Championship, it's not easy to stay in the league the next year. It really isn't.
Yeah, but you can't say he's done well if they get relegated.
With the season he's had and the performances they're putting in against teams like that are well above them, especially of late, I think he's doing a brilliant job this season. I really do.
All right, but you can say, all right, so would you be happy with Sean Dyche as manager?
No, I wouldn't be happy.
Why?
with
But he
Sean
overachieves
Dyche.
every year.
Yeah, with that kind of brand of football.
What kind of football have Fulham been playing?
Good football. They play good football. They went to Liverpool and they went completely at them for the first half, and then they defended
did
for their
Bur-
lives the
well-
second half. And the brand of football Fulham play is night and day to the brand of football Burnley play.
I don't know. I think they play well, Fulham. I just think Scott Parker not just yet. I don't think he's ready for that. All right, what's going on?
All right, let's go on to the next one. This is from Figgy Tinglefoot saying Reguilon is talented but injury prone, and we should sell if we get offered a very good offer money in the summer.
No, who are we replacing him with? Who are we getting? Who's better than him? No one. And he's not that injury prone. He's had a couple, maybe he had an injury or two, but many players have injuries. It doesn't seem that injury prone to me. I'm a big fan of Reguilon, and I don't think it'll be wise to sell him in the summer. Definitely not. I don't see the point in it. What's the point?
What amount of money would you start to consider it?
Maybe like 70 million?
70. No less than
million?
70.
Well, we've already got a release clause of 45, haven't we, for Madrid?
Yeah.
So they can sign him whenever, but I can't see the point in selling him for anything less than like 65, 70 maybe. I can't see the point of it, because what do we get out of it? We got the money, but then we have to buy another left back. Yeah. And who's going to be as good? I don't see the point.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like to see Reguilon go. If you're talking about crazy money, then I think it's something that we'd need to consider. But yeah, I get it, and I think that it would be hard to find a replacement for Reguilon. And we've been waiting so long for a left back, and suddenly one comes along, and then we're going to get rid of him. I can't see it.
Doesn't make any sense.
I can't see it. And yeah, the Real Madrid clause is only valid till 2022, as the Kareem 898 says. So yeah, I mean, unless it's really crazy money, I wouldn't even consider it, to be honest.
No chance of signing Reguilon unless Madrid activate the release clause. I can't see us selling him.
All right. So if you want your unpopular opinion to be heard, do send it to us in a super chat, or members, you can call in and we can discuss the unpopular opinion as well. Do we have anyone waiting on the line?
Yeah, just give us a couple minutes. Read the next one.
All right, we'll just go to the next one from Twitter. This is from Tom Woodley Marshall, and he says Sanchez hasn't been as good as everyone has been saying. If we want to be ambitious, we need to replace him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion, really. I think Sanchez of late has been good, but he hasn't, even in his good period, he's still not been faultless.
Third choice at best for me.
Yeah, pretty much. And I do think if we want to really seriously challenge next year for big trophies, then we definitely need to upgrade Sanchez. That's for sure, in terms of in the starting 11.
Yeah, I mean, we need 2 top centre-backs if we're going to challenge for anything next season. Davinson Sanchez shouldn't be anything but a backup, in my opinion, for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that's so unpopular, that opinion. And I know people have been saying recently he's been really good, and he has been better than he had before, but it's still not exactly like world class or anything like that.
All right, who have we got there in the back end?
Just give us a second.
All right, we'll keep going.
All right, who is it? What's his name? Tony, how you doing, my
friend? Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey,
good.
Hey, long-time supporter, you guys. All the way in the U.S.
Thank you very much, and welcome.
So, coincidentally, I own a barbershop, and the barbershop's in Trafford, Pennsylvania. Okay. And I get harassed by an old English guy who happens to be a Man United fan. Hey, my question is this.
Go on.
I'm noticing something. Hart, these big games, we don't show up. I don't understand it. How do we fix this in the locker room?
How do we fix turning up for big games? But do you have an unpopular opinion?
Well, I think I don't know if I have an unpopular opinion. I think it's more popular opinion. Eric Dyer, he has to go along with a few others in that back line.
I think that's one of the most popular opinions at Tottenham Hotspur today. I mean, yeah, in terms of Eric Dyer, I think he's definitely one that needs to go out the window this summer.
I mean, for that guy to be with the club as long as he has been, he should be the guy that a lot of these younger guys, Davis and Sanchez and the Joe Rodens, they should be looking up to him, and he's just out there. My God.
Yeah, no,
It's pretty bad.
I completely agree with you.
Pretty bad.
And I think it's probably time for him to move on, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. The only one in the back line that I'm keeping besides Reguilon is Toby, and that's only for leadership qualities. He's getting kind of old. Besides that, I mean, really, honestly, Davidson Sanchez, he's so hit and miss. He's so inconsistent. That's just not what we need right now. We're wasting a lot of good players' years, and it's bull crap. It's bull crap. It's not the talent; it's the heart. There's no reason why we go into against a game against, I don't even know where they're from, Croatia in Europa, and what? Are you serious? I mean, that was disgraceful. Disgraceful.
Exactly. And as Harry Kane said, it was just disgraceful, the kind of what we show on the pitch in terms of our, it's not even the ability. It's all up there is what we're showing, and we're not showing enough.
Right.
Harry Kane is completely spot on in everything he said, isn't he?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's something that has to be addressed. And I don't know how we do that. Do we bring in more Højbjergs? I mean, Højbjerg is someone I look at where he's not having it. He'll die on that pitch before he lets a performance like that happen. And we need more of that. More guys with backbone. More Vikings.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. You've got to bring in players with the right mentality, because the wrong mentality has been left to fester within this squad for so many years now. So it's just about time to get those players out, get Jose's players in, and we go from there.
Absolutely. I'm still I'm not sure if I'm Jose out yet. I tell you what, after that Croatia game, I definitely was Jose out. But after seeing his reaction, I'm noticing it's not him. It's the heart. I mean, I can only do so much. And then when these guys don't play for the badge, what am I supposed to do? When a barber from America has more pride in the badge than the guys on the pitch, there's a problem.
100%.
But
Tony, we need to keep going with the unpopular opinion.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much
No
for
problem.
calling in. Thank you very
mate.
much, and call again soon.
Absolutely. Take it easy, guys.
Cheers, man.
Nice one, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, who else? Well, let's go to another one from Twitter.
Cody
This
Mac.
is from Cody Mac. Cody Mac. And he says, Harry Kane has not been clinical this season, especially with his head. Could easily be sitting on 25 plus goals in the Premier League. Not saying he isn't amazing, but there's been many times he has squandered open headers. And then he went on to say in a follow-up tweet, he said, before you say it, Sim, we know he's out goal scoring his XG.
Exactly. So it means he's being very, very clinical then. That means he's been incredibly clinical if he's outscoring his XG. Look, with his head, I don't know. I can't think of too many chances he missed with his head. I don't remember. I remember one against Liverpool at Anfield. He missed a big one then. I don't remember specifically him not being that clinical with his head. I'm trying to think of many headers he scored this season. He scored one for England yesterday. I can't think of many for Tottenham.
He hasn't scored many this year with his head.
I can't think of many he has scored. So he might have a point there. Maybe he needs to get more headers in.
What's his XHG?
I don't know. I have to look that up. Expected
So if
goals
you
and
don't know,
headers.
who's going to know?
I have to look it up.
In the comments here, Diamond Forest says, that is true. Black Cayman says, Anfield, for fuck's sake. Philip Hewitt says he scored against Everton with his head. Did he score against Everton with his head?
Yeah, in the cup.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the back post. That's true.
What did you say, Marcelo? Fulham. He's saying Fulham.
Yeah,
Fulham.
that was
great
a
goal.
great header. That was a great header.
There you go, Marcelo.
Sorry, I had to
Marcelo,
interrupt
you're
you.
on.
I was like,
He's back
I don't know. I guess he put me on. No, sorry, I had to interrupt you. I had to remind you about Fulham. That was a great header. But I will agree. I think his header has been off it. It hasn't been as accurate as usual. But I'll give you guys this.
Go on.
As good as Harry Kane has been, my unpopular opinion is that
Players in the Heung-min Son has been better than Kane this season.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
In my opinion.
The opinion is Heung-min Son has been better than Harry Kane this season.
Yes.
No, I have to disagree.
To be honest,
I will say, I
disagree
think
with
he
that one.
has.
I would disagree
think
with that one.
I think when we lose Son, we lose a lot of pace, we lose a lot of ability. And although yes, Harry Kane, I will say this: what I agree with John is Harry Kane's passing has been fantastic, but Sonny has had to do a lot to score those goals. He's had to be very clinical, and also I don't think Sonny, his distribution from the left hand side hasn't been given as much praise as it should be. I think the contribution he's been giving, although he hasn't been getting as many assists, but the crosses he's been giving, the dribbling he's been giving, the track back that he's been doing, he's been covering that left hand side. He and also the pace he brings to the forward. When he is not playing, we feel it. We have no pace, other than Lucas, obviously.
But
But Lucas is
Marcelo,
not as good as
Marcelo,
Sonny.
Marcelo, what about when you say Harry Kane has probably been our best defender, best midfielder, best attacker this season? The way he drops deep and helps the team creatively. He's at the end of finishing off the chances as well. I mean, what has the guy not done this season apart from the headed goal ratio?
Look, listen. I think they've both done that. I think Sonny has also been, he's been helping out the fullbacks tremendously. I mean, when Ben Davies, when Reguilon wasn't playing, he was practically a left back who then became, like a winger after he got the ball. You know what I mean? Like you look how deep he's had to get the ball. I think they've both been doing that. I think honestly, Sonaldo's been our best left back this season. Aside from Reguilon, and Reguilon hasn't played much, so you can say that for both. And Sonny recently, before his injury, he's been creating chances and assists. He kind of almost, remember we were talking about this. He almost kind of took Kane's role and started creating the chances instead of Kane.
But Harry Kane is currently top goal scorer and top assister in the Premier League right now. How
If
can
you look at
beyond Harry Kane,
if you look at stats, yes, Harry Kane beats Sonaldo at stats. But what I'm saying is, ability-wise, I think dribbling, I think the pace he brings, I think the pressing he brings, and the work ethic he brings has been better than Kane's. And I think we miss it. Obviously,
on Sunday
his stats,
we won without him. We won without Sonny on Sunday.
Yeah, and we also lost to Zybrek.
We also lost to Zagreb. It's true. Yeah, but but think about how we played without Kane as well. When we lost to Brighton and lost to without Kane, that was very, very bad.
But I will say this: in the past, when we have lost Kane, Sonny has stepped up and has been tremendous. He has been absolutely tremendous every time Kane has been injured, most of the time. And for me, now though, he's also a big game player. As much as I love Kane, right, he does sometimes go missing in the big ones. Sometimes, especially when he faces an opposition like a backline with a lot of pace, he has a hard time because he's not the fastest striker. He's very intelligent, he's very clinical, and he's very savvy. And he's one of the best. He's the most. Listen, I'm not trying to bad talk Kane. He's one of the most clinical striker. His passing is beautiful. It's almost De Bruyne-like. It's fantastic. But I think in the big games, also Sonaldo shows up more. I think he's more up for it than Kane.
Marcelo, I take your point, but I'd like to see the kind of last 10 games without Kane and last 10 games without Sonny and see what the results look like. I mean, look.
Personally, I would not. I personally would not. I'd rather have both of them on the pitch.
Obviously. Yeah. But I'd like to see what our results have been like and how many goals we've scored without either Kane or without either Son.
That actually would be interesting. That would be interesting.
It would be. But Marcelo, absolute pleasure, good opinion, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Nice one.
Got a few super chats here. This one's from Brandon Sebastian, and he said, Stevie B to right back, and shout out to the scat man.
The scat man? Is that me? The stat man. I'm a stat man.
This is the scat man.
Bergwijn
Bergwijn to right back.
Yeah, I actually don't think that would be the worst thing. I reckon he could be a good right back. I reckon he would, but I don't know. It might be a bit late in his career to do that move. But putting him at right back, if we could teach him how to defend, I reckon he would be decent.
I mean, he defends well from the front.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I wonder. This is what we did to Danny Rhodes. He was a winger early in his career, and he moved to left back, and he was very good there.
Yeah.
Is
Tiny bit younger though, wasn't he? When we moved him?
Yeah, true. That is true. I wonder how Stevie B would be if he moved to right back. I reckon he could do a job there, filling in.
Yeah, I reckon he could too as well. Got another super chat here from Tommy Castillo. He says, "Do you boys think if England win the Euros, it will help keep Kane at Tottenham?"
Potentially.
Why is that?
Only because he might feel like he won't need a move to win trophies. He's winning with England, and he can stay at Spurs. Maybe, I don't know.
I think club honours and international honours might be kept separate, kind of thing. Because if he's winning with England, he can win more with another team as well.
Obviously, I'm not saying it's going to be a deal breaker, but could it help? I don't know. I can't see it helping that much, but I don't think would hurt.
I don't think it would make any difference whatsoever, to be honest. I really don't.
Yeah, maybe not.
All right, let's get these likes up, guys. Scroll down, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. You guys know what to do. Really helps us. It shows your support for the channel as well,
And a couple
which we
here.
really appreciate.
Couple more super chats.
There are a few more super chats, and let me just repeat how you can get involved in this unpopular opinions video. All you need to do is you can send in a super chat and we'll react to your unpopular opinions, or gold members, silver members, you can call in and we will have a chat about your unpopular opinion as well. Go on, you want to go through some of them?
Yeah, Fraser Porter says, Matthew James Doherty is genuinely the worst player I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. Shout out to Joe Lee as well, my G. So, friend of Joe Lee there, I think. Fraser Porter. Is Matt Doherty the worst player you've ever seen in a Tottenham shirt? I mean, I've seen some real crap.
He's not the worst.
So he's not the worst. He definitely is the worst. But
he's not the worst, but he's in the current crop of players, maybe in the last 5 years, maybe you could argue a case. He's definitely up there in terms of players that we've bought for a starting role.
Would you rather him or Carl Norton?
Probably Doherty.
Probably Doherty.
I don't know, man. Carl Norton was poor.
He was so poor. I reckon Doherty just about shades it. Trying to think.
Carl Norton was a championship player at best. I think Doherty is like a lower end Premier League player, what we've seen to us at best.
Yeah, true. That's the truth. He's average, just average. I don't think he's the worst though. And Brandon Sebastian says, Celso and Ndombele.
Get out of here.
Why? Why would
What
you
do you mean
bring
Celso
that
and
up?
Ndombele?
For what reason?
Sell our most prized asset.
Nah. Not having that. And Ndombele is here to stay. He's going to provide us with the sauce.
All right, let's go to Will Stewart. Let's see what he has to say. Will.
Yes, Will.
How you doing, mate?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good to see you, Will.
Yeah, really good to see you. What is your unpopular opinion?
I think we all know what my unpopular opinion is, don't we?
Do we?
Yeah, my unpopular opinion is that Eric Lamela is not a good enough attacking player to play for Tottenham Hotspur.
Eric Lamela is not a good enough attacking player to play for Tottenham Hotspur.
The Rabona wasn't enough to convince you?
The Rabona is the fact that as a Premier League player, he has no right foot. He's the most one-footed player in the Premier League.
Messi's very more one-footed as well.
Is he?
I would have to say that if you were to go back and look at their stats, I'm sure Messi's right-footed goals are far higher than 3.
That's definitely
for
true.
sure.
That's definitely true. Yeah, Lamela's probably more one-footed than Messi.
I mean, Gareth Bale does the outside of the foot cross just so he won't have to take it on his other foot.
Well, I mean, Gareth Bale does it with far better, I guess you could say, accuracy. And when Gareth Bale does it, it's because he's actually in stride. You know, like for instance, my view of like the flick on from the outside of his foot, the hit the post that Kane put in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you really look at that passage of play, Eric Lamela his left foot was already extended. So instead of taking a step and actually taking a shot with his right, he off balance flipped it up with the outside of his boot because he has no right foot and he couldn't get that Rabona in time. So
do you need a right foot when you have such a good Rabona though?
Well, I mean, unless you're shooting with a Rabona every single time.
You should.
But
I probably should.
You probably should. I'll take that. But
do you not think if he didn't have as bad injury problems as he had done throughout his career, maybe we would think of him more highly?
Well, I think if he could have been the player that he was in the 13, 14, and 14, 15, 16 seasons, if he would have kept that form, I'd say he'd be great, right? His attacking returns at that point in time were excellent. But 9 goals now and 7 assists in over, I think it's 98 appearances now, is pretty bad.
Yeah,
Is
but
he,
how
is he
many
good enough to
tackles
be a
he
squad
made?
player?
So Victor HM, who's in the chat now. So Victor HM, I know you're having a coronary as I'm giving my opinion, but he's convinced me that due to the amount of shambles that our squad is in, that it would be, out of the other options available, Eric Lamela is the best of the worst options. So I'm willing to concede that point.
So you're willing to let him stay for another year?
Yes, I'm willing to allow him to finish out his contract. But if we offer him a new contract, then I may have to take Brian Daigle's form on Levy and try to find out where I can find him.
All right, Will. Absolute pleasure. Thanks for that unpopular opinion, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Thanks for having us on, guys.
Cheers, Will.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye, mate.
THFC rants.
Yeah, THFC rants back at it with the Lamela slander once again. Let's get some more from Twitter. This one is from Delboy. Delboy #Enoch out. And he says Tanganga is the best centre-back at the club and Jose has messed up by not playing him there.
Tanganga is the best centre-back at the club. I mean, the thing is he's the one we've seen the least from, so it's hard to say like how he would do if he ever played consistently. I don't think he's ever really played consistently as centre-back for us.
Nah.
Like, he's always played at full-back every time.
I think he's played maybe 1 or 2 games at
He
centre-back.
played once against Chelsea in the League Cup, and that game he didn't play that well. I can't remember the other times he's played there. So, I mean, it's hard to say he is.
I think in Europa League this season he had a couple of games.
That's right. He played in Europa League with Sanchez, I think. With Sanchez. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's the best centre-back. I think Toby is probably still the best centre-back of the club. But has Jose messed up by not playing him there? I think there might be something to that because I think he's tried every single centre-back option there except for him in terms of in the Premier League.
He just doesn't see him as a centre-back for some reason.
He doesn't, and I think he's wrong. I think he should give him an opportunity there to prove himself as centre-back, and I actually agree with that second part. That Jose, I think, has messed up a bit in not giving an opportunity. However, we've got Dyer, Rodon, Sanchez, and Toby, so he's got 4 senior centre-backs. None of them have really pulled up any trees. But
he should be above Dyer in the pecking order, that's for sure.
Now he should, yeah, 100%.
But yeah, in terms of him being our best centre-back at the club, I think it's very hard to make a case for that.
Yeah,
it's extremely
very
hard
difficult.
even. So unfortunately, I don't agree with that one, but I definitely agree that he should be given more game time, that's for sure. But look, we can see Brian there in the background. Let's get him on. Brian!
Yes, Brian.
Huxameach, my friend.
Huxameach.
How are you doing? Yeah, very good. How are you?
Yourself? All fantastic here, mate. Got to say, I loved your video with the 10 plagues, mate. And I think you were right. We could have done about 50 plagues.
When you're watching our plagues, did you dip your finger in the wine?
Dip my finger, done. Giving it all that, mate. Giving it all that. I was leaning to the left.
Where are you sending the curses this year, Brian? I want to know.
Say again?
Where are you sending the curses this year?
Oh, who knows? Who knows?
I send them to the Emirates every year, man, and they get worse and worse every year. So
I was thinking maybe you're going to send them to Levy's house. I wasn't sure.
Mate, do you know what I've been saying on all the channels I've been going on? As it's Pesach, I'm A, trying to keep calm, and B, I'm giving him like 8 days of peace. Like let's give him 8 days. So I'm trying to stay calm on that subject. But I've actually got 2 unpopular opinions.
All right, shoot us with the first one.
So the first one, and it doesn't just go for Spurs players, but I'm going to use Stephen Bergwijn as an example. I think this is for all players that have travelled and playing in a foreign country. I reckon that due to the coronavirus and them not being able to have their families come over and support them and live with them and be there as constant, I think it's having a real effect on their mentality and their form on and off the pitch.
I mean,
due to the fact they don't have the people there.
I mean, that's interesting. It's hard to say, like, what the actual cause is. I mean, we'll never get to see if that's the actual truth or not, but I think, yeah, I mean, it could be very easily the case. I think you can definitely tell with a player like Stephen Bergwijn how much he's lacking in the confidence area. And I think that it might just take one goal or two to really bring that confidence back. So I'm not sure whether it's family or just lack of goals or the way the fans have been treating him on social media. I'm not sure, but you could have a case there for sure.
So the way I'm looking at it as well, and I'll pick two Spurs players because obviously it's close to home. You look at Sanchez and Bergwijn, they both had children.
Yeah.
And around that time, obviously, you want the family to come and see the new child. You want them there for support. Obviously, the late nights or whatever, which come part and parcel of being a parent. But those kind of times, they can normally just get their family all around there. And obviously, in this time, they haven't. So I'm not saying it is the reason, but I think if you look around the Premier League and even the European leagues, there's some players that from different countries that haven't been able to settle. And I reckon the mentality could have something to do with it.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
It might be a case for that. It's hard to know, but I think you might have a point there. And I think it's something. The mental side of the game is definitely something that's constantly overlooked. And I think players are a lot of the time looked at pretty much as if they're robots all the time with no emotion and they're not humans. And I think these external things a lot of the time do make a big factor in how a player performs, and no one takes them into account a lot of the time. So I think it's important that kind of stuff is brought up sometimes, and it can be an explanation as to why players aren't playing well at certain times. Look at Lingard. He said a number of times how external factors have been hampering his performance, a lot of personal things, and now he's got that behind him and he's smashing out for West Ham. And these things have a big impact.
What's your second one, Brian?
So the second one, and I'll explain my reasons behind this. I reckon our centre-back that we should be going for, and the reason I'm saying I think he's been overlooked, and the reason I think and the reason I want this guy is A, he's English. B, I think he's reachable, depending on the funds that man gives us. I won't go in. I told you I'm not going in on him. Depending on the funds we give him, he's Premier League proven, and I reckon he's gettable. And I think it's Jamal Lascelles from Newcastle.
Lascelles, really? You think he should be the one?
If you look at it, Mourinho likes a big, domineering defender like John Terry. He's definitely got that. He's had very, very good seasons for Newcastle. And then you look at the team for Newcastle, it's just not the standard that he needs to be at. And I think getting him in our team could be a big thing. And the main thing, the main reason I'm saying him is I reckon the way Newcastle are going, who knows if they'll go down. But I reckon with the money we're talking, I think he's gettable.
He is gettable, but, last season he had big injury problems. He is 27, but is he really that centre-back we need to upgrade our defence? Do you really think he can make that big difference to us?
This is why it's important. Do I think he is the one? No, I want a Skriniar, a Malenko, or a star like that. But again, you've got to look at it, and I'm trying to look at it on the Levy Pro side with the money we've got. And if you look at that, Premiership proven, yes. A good defender, yes. Injuries, yeah, he has had a couple, but I reckon you put him in a side like us compared to Newcastle, I think it's a team he could thrive in.
Very interesting, but let's see what the viewers have to say. Do you want Jamal Lascelles at Spurs next season? Could he be one of the answers to a lot of our questions, to be honest?
I do think he's a good centre-back.
Only because he's gettable. Only because he's gettable. Like I said, if we can get a Koulibaly or Skriniar, obviously 1 billion% that's the route I want to go down. But I'm trying to look at it realistically with the money that we may have, whether we're in Europe or not.
Brian, let me ask you this. Mings or Lascelles?
I would have to go Mings, but I think Mings is going to be, obviously, you look at the state of Aston Villa, they don't need money. They're not going down. He's going to be a lot harder to get. Or Konza. Konza's another one that I'd love, but they're going to be a lot harder to get out of Villa than a player will be to get out of Newcastle.
What about that centre-back from Fulham? I can't.
You know what? Yeah. So he's the one. We were trying to get him when he was at Sampdoria.
Mm.
He's another one, but again, I think he would be more expensive than Newcastle, especially if they go down.
Mm. But he's good. I do like Lascelles, and I do think he's underrated, but he's just too injury prone for me. If we're signing someone, you want someone who's not got a track record of having so many injuries, because we've just been through that so often now, and we just need someone who can rely on. And I've had enough of just hoping players come back from injury all the time. It's really, really frustrating. So as much as I think Lascelles is a good player, I just think he's too injury prone for me.
So
Brian, just-
definitely unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
there.
before we let you go, there's a lot of rumours over the last couple of days for Yannick Vestergaard of Southampton. Would you take him?
Hell, goddamn, no. No,
Yeah,
but before I go, I have to say one thing. You were talking about bad right backs, and I don't know, Ben or Simeon, I'm sure you were, but Ben, I don't know if you were still going to Spurs. I'm going to say a name out of the blue that was a terrible right back. Don't know if you guys will remember him. David Kerslake.
Yes,
No.
I do remember him. Yeah.
David.
Yeah, trust me, Doherty is a lot better than him.
That's for sure.
Trust me.
Is he better than Dean Austin?
Oh, mate, do you know what? The good thing is Dean Austin, bless him, came with the, God bless him and may he rest in peace, Justin Edinburgh. And you got to remember, they came from Southend, and Justin Edinburgh had some games where he was brilliant. Dean Austin was the epiphany of what's it called? Inconsistent. Really was. But yeah, David Kerslake would be the right back, I would have to say. That gave me nightmares.
I loved it because Chris Cowlin did an interview with Dean Austin a few days ago, and one of the titles, or maybe it was on social media, was like, "I'm about to interview Tottenham legend Dean Austin," and I was like, "Wait a second,
Yeah,
we're just handing out legends for anything these days."
Tottenham legend Stuart Nethercott.
Exactly, you know what I mean.
Exactly like that.
Brian, absolute pleasure as always. We'll see you next
And
time.
you guys,
Tack som är,
speak to you soon. Take care. Comedy Spurs.
Come on.
Come on, you Spurs.
All right, we've got a super chat
Love it.
here.
Brandon Sebastian
Yeah, you got it there.
says Jose will be the greatest Spurs manager of all time.
Of all time, that means he'll need to win the double.
He'll win the double, and maybe do we win a European Cup under? Billy
No,
Nick?
not under Billy Nick. I don't
Did we
think
win
it was a bit
European Cup?
later.
What, when we beat Atletico Madrid in the final?
Was that under Billy Nick?
Was it not? 67? No,
It might have been.
that's under Billy Nick, surely.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to do it this season.
He's not going to be the greatest Spurs manager in history. Come on.
You never know. It depends if we sack him or not at the end of the season. But yeah, look, he's got a tall order. He needs to win a couple of league titles probably. So he's got a big. He could definitely be our best manager. Look, he could actually end this season as our best ever Premier League manager in a way. If we get top 4 in a trophy, he'll be our best manager of the Premier League era.
Bill Nick won the Cup Winners' Cup, but not the UEFA Cup.
Yeah, the Cup Winners' Cup, that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he won a European trophy.
But the Cup Winners' Cup, not even. That's like the equivalent to like the Europa League Conference League this year now.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. It was like the third tier of European football.
No, but it was for all the cup winners.
Yeah, and the
So
European
I think so it's a
Conference
different
League is
level.
the Carabao Cup winner.
Huh?
Is the Carabao Cup winner.
Yeah, but Atletico Madrid were a cup winner, like a big cup winner in Spain.
It was different back then because like the cup competitions were held at much more higher esteem.
That's
back
what I'm
then.
saying. So
But
I think it's
in terms of the level of European football, it was the third tier of European football.
I know, but the level of opposition was not like the UEFA
No,
Conference.
I get that.
So it's not. I don't think it's the same level. I don't think you can call it the same level.
No, but what I'm saying is the third European tier.
Yeah, I get that, but it was definitely harder and it was definitely more respectable.
Yeah, that's because there were less teams in the European Cup, less teams in the UEFA Cup, so automatically better teams would go into the Cup Winners' Cup.
So I think it was definitely more respectable than the UEFA Conference League is now.
All right. Everyone, scroll down, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. We'll get your unpopular opinions read if you send us a super chat. If you want to call in, the link is in your community section to members and members only at the moment. If we run out of members, we will open it up to the public. But members, the link is in your community section now. So come and join us. Give us your unpopular opinion and we'll read it out. Let's go to Twitter, though. Let's go to Bob Spur TV. Come on, Bob, and let's see what he has to say. The first person I'd consider selling is Kane.
Ooh.
I'll generate enough money to bring in a younger, less injury-prone striker and a better understudy.
How? I mean, who are we signing who's younger and like wants to be? I don't know who we're signing who's anywhere near the class of Kane.
We got Dane Scarlett, mate.
Oh, come on. The first person is Kane. He's the first. You wouldn't think of anyone else. I mean, I've got about 10 players at least. I mean, you could argue there's 25 players ahead of Kane. I'd rather sell you. I mean, no, come on. I wouldn't sell Kane at all. I wouldn't even consider selling Kane. Look, what striker who could we get? Who could effectively, even if you're saying like, yeah, we could sell Kane and then reinvest the money. So we get 150 million for Kane. We have to spend at least say 70, 80 on that on a striker. Who are we signing? Haaland's not going to come. So who are we signing?
Haaland.
Yeah, but he's not going to come. So who we
the only one.
Andre Silva? No, Andre Silva.
No,
No,
the
no
only
chance.
striker you can get that would make it acceptable to replace Kane with is Haaland. That's the only one.
And it's not gonna, that will never happen.
That's the only one.
We're not getting Haaland. That's not happening in a million years. So, like, especially with his agent, Mina Raiola, like, it's not. We're not getting Haaland. We're not getting Haaland. So that pipe dream, like, who are we gonna get? Who are we gonna get?
No one.
Morata.
No one.
Like who?
No one. That's
So
it.
what's the point? What's the point? I don't see the point in it.
Dax and Pata.
Huh?
Dax and Pata.
Like, no, I want Kane. Kane is the one player who's probably irreplaceable in the squad right now. And yeah, look, if we could sell him, and I'm not saying Spurs are done if we sell him, because I'm sure we could find someone to fill the role and then improve the other bits of the squad. But I just think we're better off. There's so many other players we could sell.
Is
right now
there a
Kane.
breaking point with Kane with age?
Is there a breaking point with age?
Yeah, in terms of to get like maximum money, not maximum money, but in terms of, is there an age where you would accept to sell him for big money, where you could bring someone else much younger in, like a 31, 32, something like that?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, potentially. Like when he's a bit older. I don't think it would hurt as much. But right now, I don't. Yeah, right now I don't think it is. But I mean, even then, I think Kane could go into his 30s. So if we got big money in his 30s, it would make sense to sell. But right now, if we have a choice in the matter, I don't think it was right to.
All right. So Harry Kane, you ain't going nowhere, mate. You ain't going
For the
nowhere.
rest of his career.
We've got some more guests in the background. We got Cody Magnet, Cody Magnet, Cody Magnet.
Was that a shark I just saw? Is that a shark? Crocodile?
No, that's a
No,
parrot, mate. That's a parrot.
That's a parrot. Hey, no, sell Harry Kane. We'll buy Callum Wilson.
Oh,
Everything will just be perfect, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
great.
maybe we'll get Leandro Damiao.
Yeah. Listen, I've got like 60 seconds to make my my banger of an unpopular opinion here, but just in respect to the first one that I sent on Twitter, I don't think that 17 goals from 15 XG is actually a good performance for someone who scores a lot of goals. And a penalty is 0.76 XG. So if you score 20 penalties, that's 15 XG. So, there's been a couple of goalkeeper mistakes and a couple of worldies that have kind of propped that XG number up. And I don't want to get into that because that's not what I'm calling about. But
he's got the second XG in the league, by the way. So second highest.
Right.
So I'm not
which
sure
means anyone
that
that scored 17 goals is outperforming their XG more than Harry Kane. So you've made my point. So thank you.
Not really.
But listen, here's my banger, and this is so perfect that Brian Daigle was on because he is going to his head's going to explode with this unpopular opinion, which is ENIC are among the best ownership groups in world football. And I will go through a few points, and then I gotta go because my kids are upstairs. The only reason that we have Champions League expectations, which is why everybody's crying foul and that we should be selling the club, is because of the progress that we've made underneath this ownership. And I really noticed that people tend to just cherry pick all of the mistakes and the bad things that they've done without giving proper credit for some of the good things that they've done. For example, we're always talking about how our scouting system is broken, and for sure there have been some egregious errors on that part, but we also have one of the best bright young academies, right? Yeah, I mean, would you rather be a Manchester City fan and just be to me, it's like we slate them just because they have blank checks, and that's why they end up with their trophies, and they're a soulless club and they've sold themselves to a sheik, So I don't know if that's what I want for my club. But before I go, I will say this. Name me one club that has progressed as exponentially as Tottenham Hotspur on and off the pitch in the last 20 years. And glory, guys. I got to go.
Man City.
Nice one, Cody. Man City. Yeah, Man City. Yeah, but because they're bankrolled by us, he's saying he doesn't want us to be bankrolled by big oil money. I mean, I
Chelsea.
wouldn't mind it for a couple of
Look, the way
league
I
titles.
look at it, yeah, back in the day when we were going through the ranks with Martin Yole and Harry Redknapp and that kind of stuff, I used to take a lot of pride in the way Spurs are being run, run in the right under Pochettino.
Even
really,
Pochettino as well.
Pochettino is where I really felt like that when we looked like we were gonna end the Pochettino thing with success. We thought we were going to win trophies under Pochettino, potentially a Premier League title, potentially a few cups. We got to a Champions League final, but it was actually before the Champions League final where I thought, you know what, I took a lot of pride in the way this club was being run. But ultimately, it led to absolutely no successes at all. So when I look at it, I would say that I wouldn't mind if a Sheikh came over. Ploughed in loads of money to the club. We started winning trophies. I mean, I would love that.
Exactly. We've done years and years of this project.
Exactly.
And I want to just win some trophies already.
I'm kind of done with this whole project mentality and this kind of stuff. I just almost want someone just to take us over and just to plough shitloads of money within the club and get us a Haaland, get us an Mbappe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but isn't it a bit like saying, I just want to win the lottery?
Yeah.
It is saying, I do want to win the lottery.
Yeah, I do want to win the lottery.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
do you not want to win the lottery?
Of course, I want to win the lottery.
Exactly.
But is it realistic to say, I want you out so I can win the lottery?
Yes, it is. But also, to the people that say, "Oh, Levy out," there's no alternative on the table. So it's not a real argument. You know what I mean? What we're talking about is all a hypothetical situation. When people are talking about Levy out, they're talking about they actually want Levy out, but nobody's got any sort of alternative. So
Exactly.
if a Sheikh was on the table, then I'd 100% say Levy out. But there is no such person on the table.
Yeah, we need someone with billions of pounds, tens of hundreds of billions, really, to take us over and bankroll us. And I don't know where anyone sees this magical owner coming from and taking us over. So. Look, and I do agree
Jeff
with Cody.
Bezos, if you're watching now, there's a lovely club in North London that you've done a few deals with in the past. Get involved, mate. Get involved. We know you got enough money.
Yeah, I know. I think I do agree with Cody Mack in general. I think as an owner, owner of a sports franchise, you'd have to say they've probably done a good job. But in terms of actual achievements on the pitch, yeah, look, they found wanting. That's sad reality.
Yeah. What would you say though if owners like the Newcastle owners were coming in for us, with all the human rights stuff and stuff
yeah,
like
I
that?
mean, it wouldn't be a good look, would it? Wouldn't be a good look, and obviously you'd have to. It would be very, very difficult to say no to because all that money will be bankrolled into the club and would be, all that money injected. But sometimes you've got to take a moral stand on things.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the players are doing right now with the Qatar World Cup.
All right, let's go on to is this the last one from Twitter? The last unpopular opinion from Twitter, and this is from Figgy Tinglefoot once again, and he says, Gazaniga should return and be first choice if Lloris leaves in the summer.
Nah, not for me. I don't think he's good enough.
We've tried that. I mean, we tried that when he was injured anyway.
Yeah, I don't think Paolo... Look, he's a decent backup keeper, but he's nothing more than that, unfortunately. The fact he can't even get into the Elche team, so that says it all really about where he's at the moment.
Although I was reading about this Elche keeper, and apparently
he's
absolutely smashing it.
So why do you even go there?
I don't know.
But no, I feel bad for him because I do think he's better than not playing at all like he is now. But unfortunately, I don't think he's good enough to be first choice at Tottenham.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I would love him back as a backup because I think he's a better keeper than Joe Hart. I genuinely believe that. But in terms of first choice, I just can't see it, to be honest. Yeah. ATX Gaming in the comments says, Gazaniga, not even first choice for Elche. That's exactly what my brother just said. And Rafe Lewis says, get Donnarumma at the club. I mean, Donnarumma, his contract ends in the summer, but he's one that's going to go for like 250 grand a week, 300 grand a week. He's going to. Apparently, he's linked with Chelsea now, Donnarumma. I mean, they just signed two keepers.
I know, they're still not happy. But just remember, guys, get in your super chats. And also, if you're a member, link is in the community section. If you want to come on and give your unpopular opinion, we'll react to it as well. So make sure if you want us to react to your unpopular opinions, make sure you put in a super chat or come on as a member as well. So, send in your unpopular opinions and we'll react to them. Looking forward
Yeah,
to
I
more
mean,
of them.
we don't have many more to go through.
We have a few on Twitter.
All right, you want to cut to the phone?
Yeah, got Simon Stevens here. Says, Lo Celso has been at the club for going on 2 seasons and hasn't done much in his time in a Tottenham shirt. He's not a bad player, but he's a complete waste of time so far. I don't rate him highly at all.
That's harsh.
Very harsh.
That's harsh.
Very
I think
harsh.
people are kind of forgetting what Lo Celso was all about after all these injury problems he's had this season.
Completely.
Because
I
I've
think
seen a lot of
disrespected.
disrespect for Giovanni online in the past 6 months. And
Agreed.
I think it's fairly disgraceful, the kind of hate he's getting online, because if you guys remember, the back end of last season, he was our best player.
Mm-hmm.
He was our best player. He was taking games by the scruff of the neck. I know, we weren't doing well at the back end of last season, but we did go on a good run after lockdown. And Giovanni Lo Celso, before that lockdown even, was one of our best players. And, like I said, grabbing games by the scruff of the neck, really taking the games to the opposition, and probably our best player.
I completely agree. I think Lo Celso is disrespected by a lot of the fan base because he's had a few injuries, and I understand the frustration, and I think that the shadow of Lamela kind of looms over him because
That's exactly what it is.
And I think people just he's another injured Argentinian guy who's not going to be fully fit ever and anything like that, and I think it's a bit unfair on him to judge him like that, and I think we should give him more time. And I think whenever he's been on the pitch, by and large, he's been pretty good, been really good actually, and I think consistently last season he showed over a consistent period he can really step up for the team and be a real driving force for the team, and he makes a big difference when he's on the pitch. So I completely agree with the disrespect against the Celtic. I think he's a top quality player.
And in that period when we went out to Leipzig in the cup and we had all those injuries, Kane and Son, he was the only one in that team that was stepping up and trying to be counted for. So I think it's a bit of disrespect on Giovanni's part.
I agree.
Got a super chat here from Will Stewart. And he says, here is another one. Son is at higher risk of leaving than Harry Kane.
Son is at higher risk of leaving than Harry. Well, he might have a point there because Son is yet to sign that new contract. I don't know if he has as long as Kane does.
He doesn't.
On his
I
contract.
think he's got 2-3 years left.
I think
Son?
2 years in the summer. He's a year older than Harry Kane, and maybe he's looking around thinking he's a massive brand and he doesn't have to stay, kind of thing. So it might be and we might be more open to selling Son than we are Kane. So
Son,
he might have a point there.
Son's contract expires in 23. Kane is in 24, isn't it?
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah. So I think that's a good shout. I think he probably is at higher risk. Although some would argue maybe Son is happier than Kane. I don't know. That's a narrative that doesn't really. There's no real facts to that. It's just a perception, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I think Son. I think they're both happy. Just Son's always smiling and Kane's always just looking to drive on. But I think they are both pretty happy at the moment.
Yeah. Gostas Karavatas says Gio is a lad. Fact.
Fact.
Gio is most definitely a lad.
He's definitely a proper lad.
Do we have anyone waiting or anything like that? Any more tweets?
Yeah, we've got Andy Ward. He says, if Kane leaves, we should buy Vinicius and play him every game he can. If he can better his first touch and other elements of his game, he can be a 20-plus goal a season player. His movement off the ball and eye for goal is top quality. Do you think Vinicius is good enough to be number one at Tottenham next season and play him every game we can, apparently? Every game we can.
Seeing as we won't buy him, I don't want us to buy him for more than 15 million. I think that tells you everything that we need to know. I mean, in terms of Vinicius, I like him. I like Vinicius, but I don't like him to be first choice striker at the club. When you're comparing him to Harry Kane and you're saying Harry Kane to leave and Vinicius to be starting, that is the biggest downgrade since Berbatov for Fraser Campbell.
I actually think with Vinicius, if you're playing 2 up top, he could be a starter every game.
But it needs to be with Harry Kane.
With a better striker.
With Harry Kane or
Not
Son.
Yeah, exactly. But when you're thinking about playing him up front by himself, which Kane does that role amazingly, Vinicius just isn't up to that. He's not up to that role. And that's just, we have to get used to that. Yeah, he's banged in a few in Europa League, fair enough. And look, that can't be sniffed at. I think he's done well to do that in the limited game time he's played. And I think physically he's a good striker. Finishing here and his movement's pretty good. But when it comes to real quality, when
he can't hold up the ball.
When you've got Premier League and you have to rely on, you don't get that many touches. And when you have touches, you have to make them count as a striker. And you have to be able to take it down, bring other players into play, make good passes. He just doesn't have that element to his game. He doesn't have that. And he always does this thing where you play the ball into him and he always tries a first-time flick, and it pisses me off when he does that all the time, because he does it in the worst situations as well. And it almost like he doesn't trust his first touch at all, that he just wants to do a flick to try and do something else.
He either does a flick or it bounces off him.
Exactly. And that's what frustrates me about Vinicius. But look, sometimes you've got to concentrate on what someone's good at. What he's good at, he's making those runs off the ball. He's physical. If you get the ball to him, he can win headers. He can win a lot of headers. He can muscle defenders off the ball and stuff. And he's a decent finisher on his left foot. So those are the good things. But he's not good enough to be number one striker at Spurs up front on his own.
Got one from Brandon Sebastian here. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. And he says, buy Sergio Aguero or Jamie Vardy.
Vardy, I think, we're going to buy a 34-year-old striker. Yeah, I'd buy him if we're not selling Kane and have him play together with Kane.
Well, let's put it this way. Aguero, Vardy, Vinicius.
Aguero, Vardy, Vinicius. Which one would I buy? Aguero.
The thing is, though, even when he plays for City these days, he doesn't seem to be doing well.
I know, but he has had a lot of injuries, to be fair. But Vardy's only got 1 goal and 14. That's a bad run.
Yeah.
Maybe Vinicius. No, I think probably Vardy, just because I think he's still got that bit of pace to run off the last man. And if he played with Kane, I think they could play well together.
If we use Vardy sparingly as well, coming off the bench and stuff, impact sub.
Yeah, I agree. But they're both not coming to Spurs. So
no, I know
no
that.
point talking about it.
But it's just one of the unpopular opinions, so we had to talk about it. But look, we got Jack in the background. Let's bring him on, Jack.
Yes, Jack.
How you doing, mate?
Hey, guys.
Jack. Good to see
Not
you,
bad, not bad. I kind of thought that.
Are you keeping relaxed during this international break, by the way?
I'm definitely trying to, but it's kind of nice to be without the football. I've been able to catch up on the TV shows.
Oh, is he gone?
Is he frozen?
He's frozen. I'll get
Jack,
you back
we'll try to get
Jack.
you back in a sec. Do try reconnect.
We'll try and get Jack on in 1 second.
But do get your super chats in if you want
Should
us
we
to
cut to the phone quickly? We'll super chat here.
If you do connect to the super chats, if you want us to read out your unpopular opinion. What were you saying, Sim?
Sorry, we've got a tweet here, not a super chat, apologies. We've got a tweet if we want to cut to the phone quickly. Says, should we sign Patrick Bamford if Harry Kane leaves this summer?
No. No.
One of the
I
top
don't
goal
rate
scorers in the
Patrick
league?
Bamford at all.
Huh?
I don't rate him at all.
Well, why do you think he's having such a good season?
I mean, look, we've seen bad strikers have good seasons in the Premier League before. The amount of chances he misses, I think that... I just don't think he would be a good fit for us. I think that he's a lower league Premier League striker at best. And
I think he's having a good spell.
I think so, and I think the Championship is where his real home is.
I agree with that. I think he's having a good season in the Premier League. He's had good seasons before in the Championship, but I don't think...
How can you swap Harry Kane for Patrick Bamford?
You
Come on,
you
man.
You can't.
Harry Kane for Patrick Bamford? Are you serious?
One striker, I don't think he could replace Harry Kane, but one striker I think is very underrated and would actually do a good job with us, I think, is Shea Adams. I rate Shea Adams. I really do. Because he's...
We may as well just play Joe Lee. What do you mean?
If you look at his overall play as well, he's not just a good finisher. He's actually really good at his all-round game. Really good passer of the ball. Really underrated. And I think as one player, I actually wouldn't be disappointed if we signed him. Ings is a better striker, but as in an all-round player, like in terms of like Harry Kane, like can drop deep and pass the ball. He's actually really underrated at that, Shea Adams. Really underrated.
That Danny Ings, he's one that would really go and press from the front, just press the shit out of the other team.
Yeah, I think Shea would do that as well. But I think Danny Ings is a better finisher. He's definitely a better striker, like in goal-scoring positions than Shea Adams, for sure.
Any other Premier League strikers you would take? Realistic ones?
Watkins, but I think that ship has probably sailed now.
They signed him for what, 40 million or something?
They signed him for 27, I think.
Something like that. Tammy Abraham, Jack says. Nah,
not Tammy Abraham. I don't mind him, but I don't think I was not one I'd want. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin, but he would cost 100 million plus. Can't think of too many others I'd really consider. Chris Woods, no, he's not good enough, I don't think. We considered Wilson in the summer, didn't we? But we went.
Well, Will Stewart with the super chat actually says Ivan Toney from Brentford is a better striker than Vinicius. Was a huge mistake not to go for him last summer, and I completely agree with that. I
like Ivan Toney. I do like Ivan Toney. Also, Raul Jimenez. Before his injury, obviously, we don't know how he's going to react to that. But he was one of the best strikers in the league. I would have taken him as well for sure. So there are a few strikers, but
All right, let's get Jack back on. Jack.
Yeah, sorry about the connection problems on my end, guys.
I already know your unpopular opinion, Jack. I already know it. It's that you really like the Birmingham accent. That's your unpopular opinion.
Exactly.
The
that's
Birmingham
probably-
accent is the best accent in the UK.
That's definitely unpopular in the UK. I can tell you that. Oh, is he gone again?
Is he frozen again?
Looks like he's gone again.
I'm
That
not
was his
sure.
unpopular opinion.
Was
then.
that his unpopular opinion?
I
That
guess
is
so.
definitely not good. No, not a good opinion, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's very, very unpopular in this country. No one likes the Birmingham accent. So Jack, you might be the only one. Let's look at some. See, you got some more going through Twitter. Not really unpopular though. Can't see many unpopular opinions. There's real just opinions which are popular, I would say. For example, this one says we should get Andrea Bellotti as our backup, quality striker, and would be damn cheap if Torino get relegated. I mean, we nearly signed him in the summer, didn't
Are
we?
they
Went
close
for
to
him.
getting relegated?
Are they?
Let's have a look. I've got the table up in front of me now. Torino are 17th. Wow.
Oh, they could
They're
get
1 point off
relegated.
the drop.
Let's hope they go down.
Yeah, I mean, he was one that we were close to in the summer, weren't we?
We're very close to. Well, I think actually I don't think we're that close to, but we made an offer of a loan with an option to buy or something like that, and they were considering it, but they obviously they said it was nowhere near what they wanted. So I don't see this one being a goer.
Even if they go down?
Huh?
Even if they go down?
He'll probably move to a big team in Italy, probably. I would
Do you
say,
reckon?
yeah. Then rather than
Who
Spurs.
do you reckon he'd go to?
He'd go to anyone in the top 7 there.
Well, you look at Juve. Is there a space for him at Juve at the moment?
Or
Who do they
play
play
some
up front?
Morata,
Is Morata their starting striker?
him or Ronaldo.
Oh, Ronaldo, yeah.
They play 4-4-2, don't they?
Milan got Zlatan.
Yeah, he could play with Zlatan.
Inter Milan.
And Rafael
and
Leo, don't they?
Martinez.
Rafael Leo.
Yeah.
Inter Milan, he won't go Inter, but he could go Napoli, go Roma,
Atalanta.
Lazio. He can go to a lot of these teams.
Well, if he goes Lazio, I'll take Immobile. Thank you
no,
very
that's
much.
for sure. I'll take Immobile. Look, I'll take Bellotti. I think he's a great striker, but I think I can't see us getting him. I can't see us getting him unless Kane goes. I don't think he'll. Maybe if they get relegated, but I'm not so sure.
Black Cayman says, I'd rather get Crouch from the grave.
Crouch from the grave.
And Theo says on the strikers that we were talking about, Premier League realistic strikers, he says Aubameyang. Is that realistic?
No. Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. As if we're going to get Aubameyang.
Dave
be
says
funny.
we should sign Gio Reyna.
Yeah, I'd love Gio Reyna. Good young player from Dortmund. One with a lot of potential. But just by Joshua Thomas Sargent. Who's that? From says Brandon.
I don't know who that is. Never heard of him.
Joshua Thomas Sargent. Don't know who that is.
Oh, he's an American, 21-year-old American who plays for Werder Bremen.
All right, third time lucky with Jack. We're getting back on.
All right, let's go for it. Jack!
Yeah, guys. It's like the first time it's ever happened, I swear. So I don't know what's
alright.
happening.
Quickly get it in then before you cut off again.
Right. The Lo Celso comment I thought was heinous. He was one of the best players in La Liga when he was at Betis. I think he's been class for us. He's still really young. I think he's one of the best players in the world at a certain point at Betis. So that was just almost odious, that comment. And then my unpopular opinion would be, despite how wonderful he is and how classy he is, would be to sell Toby. If we could sell him for, he's old, but maybe if you could sell him for 25 plus mil, I think you could get in a decent replacement, because players like Milenkovic are only 20 million. And I think it'd be nice to maybe move on from a player like Toby.
I get your point, but I do think that when you're looking at selling a centre-back, I think there's a kind of order in which they need to go. So I think Eric Dyer, for me, is at the top of that list.
It just needed to be unpopular.
Yeah, but when you're talking about second or third, does Toby need to go before Sanchez? Just because of age, probably.
Yeah, and also because Sanchez has shown his quality, obviously at the latter end of this season. And I think, like we said before, he's surprisingly younger than we think. even though he's been with us a pretty long time. So I think we can still stick by him. And maybe with a competent young center back next to him, they can kind of form maybe a Tyrone Mings, Ezri Konsa kind of partnership that could last for a very long time.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people
Be
talk about
romantic.
a lot of people talk about Joe Rodon, about him being this young centre back that needs time to bed into the Premier League and all this stuff. Yes, I know Sanchez has been with us a lot longer, but he's only a year older than Rodon, which is actually crazy to think about. So do we need to be a bit more patient with Sanchez?
I think we should be more patient, and he has the qualities. Even when he's playing poor, he has those athletic qualities that are very hard to come by in certain center backs. And sometimes with players like that, maybe just the more they play, the more accustomed they become, the more confident they become, the more their on the ball abilities and game sense kind of increases and becomes more intelligent. You know, he could become a world-class center back by his peak athleticism at like 28 or 29. He still has a lot of time. I think kind of the romantic partnership would be in the future to have Tanganga and Rodon together for the future, because I really like Tanganga. I haven't seen enough of Rodon, but I still like him and appreciate him for what I've seen. And that would be kind of the romantic partnership for the future. So that's why my unpopular opinion would kind of be, to maybe sell Toby, just so we could maybe kind of force these guys in a bit more.
Do you think we get 25 million for Toby?
I think 15 million tops, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's unrealistic to given his age and given he's dropped in certain qualities of the game, and I think he also probably, similar to Vertonghen, is kind of looking to kind of finish out his career. It's probably pretty obvious that he's probably looking for kind of a cushy kind of club to be at, and there's only so many that could really pay for him, and they probably would want a cheap fee anyway.
True.
All right, Jack. Absolute pleasure as always, and we'll see you next time.
Good to see you, Jack.
Third time's the charm, I guess.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you, guys.
Nice one, Jack.
Oh, let's hope that's the case for Jose Mourinho in his third season.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so. We have a DM here from Tottenham Till I Die. Let's read it out. He says, if we sign a new right back, we should move Aurier to right wing. He seems better in attack and can backtrack if needed. His low crosses are decent. His low curling shots in the box have been great, nearing the far post often. If he is in an attacking position, he can't give away a penalty as he used to. Also, last unpopular opinion, my guess a couple messages ago about Lucas seems to have come true. Come on, you Spurs. I'm not sure what he said about Lucas. Lucas is heavily criticised for his contributed defensively and efforts and tracks for the run. We should move into a CM position as box to provide defence in aerial play. Well, he's not quite CM, but he has definitely moved centrally, so that's definitely been true. But would you like Aurier to be our new right winger?
No, I wouldn't.
No?
No.
But he's got a good cross, a good shot at the back post, and he can't give away penalties.
He's got a good cross, 1 in 5 maybe.
1 in 5.
Yeah, it's not good enough for me. In terms of an out-and-out right winger, I don't think his delivery in the box is good enough.
He doesn't give away penalties if he's right wing.
He hardly given away penalties this season. He's given
That's
away
true.
1 against Leicester,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think since Jose's come, he's kind of eradicated most of these brain farts out of his game.
By and large, yeah.
So I don't see the point in moving him up to right wing. If we're talking about getting rid of a right back, you're talking about getting rid of Doherty and bringing in someone that can fight with Aurier again, because I don't want to move him to right wing. I want him to stay at right back. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it in terms of Aurier, because I think he's having a good season by and large. I think he's had these games where he has let us down this season 1 or 2 times, but I think by and large he's had a good season.
Captain Højbjerg says, in terms of replacement striker for Kane, if Kane was to leave, no one ever mentions Lukaku. He scores wherever he's been. Yeah, I'd love Lukaku to replace Kane.
Lukaku's going to cost like 100 million, literally.
Like more probably, because they signed him for like 80, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, and he's smashing it out this season.
If I'm going to buy a striker from Inter, it would be Martinez, though.
Yeah, that's true. I think Lukaku has stepped up, though, this season in terms of he's become a much better all-round striker than he was before.
Yeah.
And I do think if we do sell Kane, there aren't many better than Lukaku to replace him, although I still think Kane is better than Lukaku. But I just don't think he's attainable. I don't think we might even have to spend more in a weird way on Lukaku than Kane.
He's younger, isn't he?
I actually think Kane's younger.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think Kane's younger. I think Kane's younger than Lukaku.
Let's see, yeah, they're the same age.
Same age, pretty much.
27.
27. So
And both born in like June and May. So
yeah,
they're exactly the same age.
But the reason I would say we might have to pay more for Lukaku is because they signed him for 80 million. Like we don't have that with Kane. So like anything we sell him is profit. Like they're probably thinking we signed him for 80.
It also depends where their contract runs out. So
Yeah.
Lukaku's contract runs out same year.
Same.
2024.
I can't see. If we were to sell Kane and buy Lukaku, we're not making any money out of that. We're basically just replacing him like for like.
It's just a replacement.
Exactly. So I can't see us doing that. We'd have to, if we were to sell Kane, it would be with a view of signing a few players to improve the squad, I think. So I don't think Lukaku would be in there. And also they'll know we just got 150 million from Kane. Inter will know that. So they'll be like, well,
We
okay.
should buy Lukaku before we sell Kane.
Yeah,
That's what we should do.
It's just not ever happen. Not in a million years. Alex, what's it called? Rundown A says, if an offer comes in for Son this summer for 80 million plus, I would seriously think about making a deal necessary to fund a rebuild. 80 million plus for Son? Are you taking it?
I mean, I don't think I am, you know. I don't think I am. I think Son is so vital to what we're trying to do, and I think that the work he gives us on the left-hand side, I think we've had, I can't remember who called up and said it before, but they said that, you know, I think it was Marcelo, you know, he said that he's been better than Kane this season, and I didn't agree with that, but I still think he's been as vital, you know what I mean? That defending from the left-hand side, I think we would need to buy another left winger for around about the same amount of money, you know what I mean? Similar to the Lukaku Kane thing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I agree. I was thinking if we were to sell Son and maybe bring in like Sancho, but Sancho would be more. So I can't see
Sancho
that
would be over
happening.
100 million.
I can't see who would bring in for like a.
You know that if we sell Son for 80 million, we're going to look to bring in someone like
Dwight McNeil.
No, we'll look to bring in someone like who's that winger?
For who?
From Leverkusen.
Oh, Bailey.
Yeah, Leon Bailey. It'll be someone like that. You know what I mean? With potential, but nowhere near as good as Son.
It's true. It's true. Okay. What's going on here? Perfect rebuild from Diplu says, Michael in for 20 million, Botman in for 30, Mukiele 25, Vestergaard 15, Sabitzer 30, Neto 45, Danny Ings
Who needs
20,
Steve Hitchin?
With so spending 185 and selling Lloris and Sissoko for 20, Dyer and Winks for 30, Aurier and Doherty for 20, Sanchez for 30, Deli for 30, Foyth for 13, and Gazaniga for 5. You're in dreamland, mate. I wish football worked this way. I wish football was just a game of Football Manager.
I'm going to play Football Manager tonight as well,
yeah,
mate.
I'm going to bring up Football Manager. I wish Football Manager was real life, but unfortunately, it's just not the case. It's just not the case.
Cody Mack in the comments says, Ben and Sim, do you have any unpopular opinions?
Do I have any unpopular opinions?
We let Freddie Canute go too early.
Oh, so yeah, way too early. Way too early. Can't think of any off the top of my head.
My unpopular opinion is I think Juan Foyth would still do a good job at Spurs.
You think so? I think he's done pretty well for Villarreal, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He has done pretty well for
I like
Villarreal.
Juan Foyth as a player. I think the only thing he was lacking to be a Premier League player was to bulk up a bit. I think he was too weedy. I think he was too skinny. I think if he would have bulked up, I think he could have done a good job for us at centre back, at CDM, at right back potentially. I don't know what position, but I definitely thought there was a role for him there.
Yeah, potentially. I wouldn't be that disappointed if we gave him another chance, but it's unlikely at this point, seeing his release clause is not for a lot. And he'll probably go back to Villarreal. Another
15 million, yeah.
Yeah. Another DM here from Coys says, my unpopular opinion is that Gareth Bale coming to Spurs ruined the progress of Steven Bergwijn. I feel like him not only taking away chances from him, but coming here in general damaged Bergwijn's mentality. The volley strike versus City showed his finishing quality, and if you look at the misses he had this year, that has to be a mental thing.
Was that Bergwijn?
Has signing Bale ruined the progress of Bergwijn?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think even when Bale was like on the periphery, on the bench, not even getting on the bench, Bergwijn was kind of had lost his confidence already. You know what I mean? It was way before Bale got into the starting lineup, wasn't it? So I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that's a bit.
I think the only person that's let down Steven Bergwijn is Steven Bergwijn.
And also, Bergwijn's best position's on the left anyway. So if anything, it's Sonny preventing him, not Bale. Because I don't think he's a natural right winger, Bergwijn. He definitely looks more comfortable on the left for me. So
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Will Stewart with another super chat. THFC Rant says, "Would you say it's fair that Son makes more money for the club than Kane?"
Probably.
Oh, you mean in general? Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably.
I would say so.
Yeah. That's probably how the club look at it in terms of when they're looking to sell players, how much money they bring in. But in terms of the career market and everything like that, for sure, Son makes more money for the club than Kane. I agree with that.
Do you have an unpopular opinion yourself?
Manny Man 16 super chat says Ben stole my opinion about Foyth on Twitter.
No, I didn't. But I like your picture of Ginola though.
That is a nice picture from Ginola.
Man. Well, it just shows two great minds think alike.
My unpopular opinion.
Harry Winks should be starting role.
Harry Winks, no, maybe that.
Harry Winks is highly undervalued, underappreciated.
No. What's my unpopular? I don't know. I can't think. I haven't thought of one about it in the top of my head. This is how I'm usually reacting to other people. My unpopular opinion. I thought Defoe was a bit overrated.
Excuse me?
I thought Jermaine Defoe was a bit overrated.
Defoe was overrated.
That's my unpopular opinion. I don't know.
What was he not good at apart from staying on side?
Well, he wasn't that clinical. He wasn't very clinical.
He did miss a lot of chances.
And he was even. I think he was even less than like a 1 in 3 striker. He was like a 1 in 4.
Yeah, he was.
And like Kane blew him away with his goal score. Went to show how maybe not as good as we thought he was.
But you got to remember the club was in a completely different space back then.
It's true. I think if Defoe was playing now, maybe he would do better. But I remember he had always had one season on and one season off Defoe. Like he would have one season where he smashed it out. Like he got like 15, 18 Premier League goals. And then one season, like I remember there was one season he didn't score until like March or something, the whole season. And he had a couple seasons like that. And I think we remember him through rose-tinted glasses because I think he did, first of all, a lot of the times when he did score, he scored a lot of good goals, like outside the box, a lot of good finishes like that. But in terms of consistently scoring...
A lot of poacher finishes as well.
He did do a lot of poacher finishes, but in terms of consistently scoring, like it wasn't actually that impressive, Jermaine Defoe. And as much as I loved him, I think he was a good player, but I don't think he was as good as everyone remembers him. I think people remember him from rose-tinted glasses.
Spot on. He hardly ever got above 10 Premier League goals in a season.
There you go. And when you think about Defoe, you'd probably think he got 10 Premier League goals every year.
And actually, consistently, he was better for Sunderland than he was for us.
Look, wow. How is he better for Sunderland than for Spurs? That is, like, I think people remember him as like this amazing striker. But I don't think, unfortunately, that was always the case for us.
Yeah, but you can argue the same.
Only in 2 seasons he got over 15 Premier League goals for Spurs.
You can argue the same for many of our players back then, though. Can't you?
I guess you could.
Like Robbie Keane as well. You know what I mean? He always had a season on and a season off. He always got above 10 Premier League goals, but it's not like he was a proper out-and-out goal scorer, scoring 20 goals plus a season. He never hit 20 goals once.
Yeah, but
Robbie Keane's best return is worse than Jermaine Defoe's best return for Spurs.
But he always, first of all, he chipped in a lot of assists, and he always, in all competitions, he always got over 20. Like, a lot of the time, he got over 20. He was getting a lot of goals in all competitions. And Defoe did, like, in all competitions, he didn't that many. I don't know how many times he got over 20. Maybe twice? I don't know.
Well, no, once. But Robbie Keane only got above 20 twice.
Twice. But his goal scoring record was a lot better, and also he had his more all-round player than Defoe.
But also, Robbie Keane played a lot more than Jermaine Defoe.
I just think Keane was a better player. I felt he was more consistent than.
But if you're judging Defoe on the numbers, you got to judge Robbie Keane on the numbers too.
Yeah, and Keane looks a lot better on the numbers.
Not that much better though.
Not that much better.
Same level, exactly the same level.
I think he's a bit better.
Yeah, I'm saying they're slightly better, but same level.
Similar level. But I think he just had more to his game. He was like better in partnerships with Berbatov and stuff like that. I think Defoe was a bit more selfish than Keane.
Yeah, he was. There's no two ways about that. But you know what I mean? You're talking about in terms of goal returns, and their goal return was very similar.
Well, in the Premier League, what was that? Defoe 139 games, 43 goals. Robbie Keane 197, 80 goals. So that's a lot better, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So Keane, I think, in that sense, Keane was better. I think Keane was better, but I don't know. I just think Defoe. I love Defoe, but I think he was a bit overrated.
Yeah, you could say that. But look, I think that is the end of our unpopular opinions. I think is there anyone? There's no one waiting, is there? All right, yeah, we're going to call it a day. So thank you everyone for joining us today for these unpopular opinions. If you want us to keep doing more unpopular opinions, let us know in the comment section below. Let us know who you prefer, Robbie Keane or Jermaine Defoe. Who was the better player? Was Jermaine Defoe overrated, as my brother says? Was Robbie Keane overrated? Or were they both just at a current level as what that team was at the time? Let us know in the comment section below. That is our unpopular opinions. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.